A woman has sparked reactions online after allegedly that her husband shut down her source of income after she told him she no longer wanted to practice Islam. In the video shared on X, she explained that she grew up in a Christian home and was never informed at the beginning of their relationship that she would eventually adopt her husband's religion. My husband locked my shop and collected all my source of income because I said I don't want to be a Muslim again. I grew up in a Christian family and didn't tell me at the beginning that I must follow his religion. She said while expressing herself in Yoruba. The woman claimed the husband initially assured her that she was free to practice Christianity and he had no issues with her faith. However, she alleged that later he changed position and instead she must convert to Muslim. This is on this particular thing. My stand, I just feel it's best you marry someone that you practice the same religion because if you end up not everybody, what works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B. Imagine her now. There's some people that they are Christians and they get married to Muslims and they are cool, their marriage is fine. But it might not work for another person. Remember, the man will tell you, no problem, I'm cool with you. You can practice your Islam, you can practice your Christianity. By the time you enter into the marriage, a few years into the marriage, it changes, just like what happened to her. So I feel it's just best for you to be on the safe side. Marry the person you guys practice the same religion with, so you don't have issues. Because that people can issue. What happens when you're going to church, the other person is going to mosque, the other person is having Ramadan fasting, you're there, the other person is having, different things contradicting each other, and you're like, finally, probably one person have to succumb to the other religion. That's just it. Because you guys can continue doing like that until the children will be confused. Which one would I go? Did I follow daddy or I should follow mommy? Did I go to church or I should go to mosque? Who would I follow? I saw a video of a guy on Facebook on TikTok. His parents are both Christian and Muslim. So what he does is on Tuesdays, okay, instead of on Fridays, he goes to mosque, he dresses like an allergy, goes to mosque, does everything, prayers and everything. On Sunday, he's on suit, he's going to church. And people are like, guy, pick one. Don't do the both. And I was like, what do I want to do? But they have to force me to go. And imagine what it's going to job. Now, this one, her husband had to shut her down at shop because she refused that she doesn't want to do Islam again. She wants to go back to her church. He told me to be doing my doctrine as a Christian and he doesn't have issues with it. On a particular day, he stood for me and said I was following his religion and I accepted. Although we had issues with it at first, my family intervened and said the wife must practice her husband's religion. She added, according to her, he later became uncomfortable with the arrangement and decided she no longer wanted to continue practicing Islam. She alleged that her decision caused tension in the marriage and eventually led to her husband locking up her shop. You can imagine what she has gone through. Like, her husband has locked her shop, her husband doesn't care, and things like that. It's really not going to be that good for. I just suggest marry somebody, like marry who you can feel, marry who you know, you guys practice the same religion, marry who you practice the same religion. It's going to save you a whole lot, it's going to save you a whole lot. Don't forget today's show back Thursday. So I'm taking another song later on. But before then, let's take one more news. Since I moved to America, I no longer pay for 20 minutes. Man compares life abroad to Nigeria. A Nigerian man has stirred reactions online after sharing how relocating to America changed his perspective of prayer, jobs, and governance. In a viral video shared on X from Twitter, he claimed that many of the things people spend hours praying and fasting in Africa have already been provided through effective systems and government structures in developed countries. Since I came to America, I no longer pray for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. What am I praying for? The things that I used to pray back home in Africa, for God to provide for me. I came to Yankee and saw that the government and the system have already provided those things for people. According to him, many Africans have been conditioned to pray for basic necessities because governments have failed to provide opportunities and essential services for citizens. You can imagine. He was in Nigeria, he was praying 30 minutes, 40 minutes, praying to God to provide some basic amenities. But now moving abroad to Yankee, he saw that the government has provided everything he's praying for. So he's not wondering what does it want to pray for again. Guys, you still need to pray, even at that. You still need to pray. Okay, thank God for other things and pray for other things. And then, okay, since this one has been sorted out, you can as well pray for other things. Don't say you will pray for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. That's a bad one. He recalled how he used to spend time fasting and praying for employment after graduating from university, only to discover later that many of the jobs people prayed for were either unavailable or reserved for those with political connections. And I came to Yankee and realized that I was wasting my time back home in Nigeria praying for some things. First of all, we prayed to get jobs back home in Africa, and those jobs are not really there. The man's comment has continued to spark debate online, with some agreeing with his view on governance and opportunity, while others maintain the stand that prayer remains important regardless of location. That's what I said. Yeah, you have a point. Governance is also affects people, also affects prayer life. When you're supposed to be praying for something else, you're praying for another thing due to the bad government, of course. But at the same time, prayer is essential. It is prayer, regardless of the location, you need to pray. One is I was saying the truth. Good governance save many problems. Another added, prayer is still important, no matter where you live exactly. No matter where you do, guy, pray. Prayer is important. Maybe village people don't follow you. Because if you did Yankee, village people will follow you reach jail. All of a sudden, you go just find yourself on Nigeria back. So just pray, Pray, thanking God for different things, asking for what you need and what the people around you, the friendship, relations need. All right, let's